Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Should You Buy episode. Today we will be taking a look at Watchdogs, one of the most hyped up games of 2013. It was actually 2013-2014. It was shown at E3 2013. Graphics, gameplay, all this stuff was super hyped up. Now, was it overhyped is the question of the day, and I will be answering that. I'll be telling you guys what I liked about the game, what I didn't like about the game, and I'll be giving it a score out of 10 at the end. So, let's get right into it. I purchased Watch Dogs on the PC, so it was a good game overall, I guess, but at least when it worked, I experienced tons and tons of crashes, lots of frame rate drops and other bugs like that. I had no idea what was going on, checked my PC, it looked all good, so I looked up online, like, what's going on with this, and it turned out tons of other people were having the exact same issues as I was, which meant it was something wrong with the game, and I just think it was unacceptable for Ubisoft to hype it, delay it, and then give us a broken game. That's totally unfair, guys, but just to be safe, I recommend that you buy this on a console, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, or Xbox 360. Alright, so let's look at the graphics. The game was, like I said, hyped up graphically. I got my PC could run it on ultra at 60 frames a second, and it still looked kind of crappy, which is not good. But luckily, if you have a PC, you can download a mod that will allow Watch Dogs to have the graphics that were shown at E3. Just look it up online. I'm sure you guys could find it. Let's take a look at the story and characters. So the story is about, you play as Aiden. He's the main character. And his niece was killed when someone ordered a hit on him. And now basically you're trying to hunt down who ordered the hit and killed your niece. Just who ordered the hit, hunt him down, do justice. And along the way, you know, your family gets in the way. You don't want them to get involved in this, and it just... all this stuff happens, but you guys can figure that out if you play the game. But it was a pretty generic story overall, and the story was not what kept me interested in the game. The characters, I found Aiden to be a super boring guy. It kind of felt like Ubisoft was trying to create the next Batman. Aiden was a serious, very serious guy. He never joked around. Didn't like working that much with others. He had brutal Batman-like takedowns against his enemies, and he even had a kind of scratchy voice. So, didn't enjoy the main character Aiden that very much, guys. But the supporting characters, luckily, were much better. For example, one of his co-workers, Jody, was my personal favorite character in the game. He was funny, kind of cocky, and he reminded me a lot of a criminal kind of Tony Stark. Made me laugh a couple of times. If you don't know who Tony Stark is, guys, read some comics. Alright, guys. Anyways, the open world. One of the best things about Watch Dogs was epic. There was tons and tons of stuff to do, to mess around with. It was filled to the brim with people, things to hack, vehicles to steal, money to steal, just rub your nose all over in other people's business. Super fun stuff to do. Now the vehicles, you know, they were fun, whether when you were being in the car, driving around, you know, the mechanics of the car weren't actually very good. I didn't like them that much on mouse and keyboard, so I actually started using a gamepad, and it was much better. I liked the noises the cars made, like the engine, the buzzing of the engine, roaring of the engine, whatever you want to call it. Sounded pretty cool. I liked that. But definitely better with the controller. There was some super fun like destruction you could cause in your vehicles. Very cool. Just a quick tip for you guys, motorcycles are OP, they go so fast, and they were my favorite vehicles to drive in the game. Had a lot of fun experiences on those. Now let's talk about hacking. This is what was advertised to you guys, so let's talk about it. Hacking was, you know, you use it to get away, use it to your advantage, basically to make everything easier, and there are tons of ways that you could hack, tons of things that you could hack, because everything is running on the CTOS kind of system. Everything with technology is pretty much tied together, and you can hack it, which was a cool kind of thing. You know, it was cool to use it in the car. It was like when you're in a car, hacking was pretty much your only weapon. You couldn't shoot out the window or anything like that. So whether you're being chased around by someone else or chasing somebody else, you could hack the environment around you to get away or to stop the person you were chasing. So you could like raise bridges, bring up these blocker things, all sorts of fun things like that, and it would do like a slow motion crash if you successfully pulled it off, which is always super rewarding in my opinion. People, guys, the citizens in the city were very cool. Very cool. There were a ton of them. Is what I mean, guys. They had and they each had their own personality, because if you used your phone, you could like see how much money they made a year, like their criminal record, if they had any criminal records, if they had cancer, etc., etc., etc. You could basically figure out everything about them, how old they are, all this, every kind of interesting thing about the people you were walking around with. You could hack their bank accounts, steal their money, all sorts of fun, mischievous things like that. Very cool. Side quests. So the game, the main story was pretty long, but there were tons and tons of side quests as well. So the game is gonna take you a while, especially if you do all these side quests. I don't even know if it's possible to do all of them. But there's, for example, you got chess, spider, robotic giant spider rampages, very fun. Criminal convoys and criminal hideouts. My personal favorite were the criminal convoys. That was when there's like a group of cars protecting this, like the target. The target's in his own car, and then he has other like muscles, his like hired guns around him and other cars, and they're protecting him. And you can see the route they're going around, and you have to stop them before they get from point A to point B. So it was also always, my favorite part about it was that you kind of have to strategize on how you're going to stop them. Many ways you could approach it. To kill a target, I could like place mines on the ground. I could block one time stole a fire engine, drove it, and then blocked the entire road with it. That was pretty fun. One of my favorite experiences. Shoot out the tires of the car, just flat out snipe the driver. All sorts of fun things to do, and that, even though it wasn't part of the main story, it was one of my favorite things to do in the game. Multiplayer was, you know, my favorite thing was, you know, the only thing that I really enjoyed was when you were kind of this game mode where it's 1v1 and you're disguised as a citizen, and you have to invade into another person's game, follow them around disguised as a citizen, and you have to like download files about them. You have to basically follow them around without being spotted for a certain amount of time. And the other guy is trying to spot you before time runs out. If he spots you, he tries to kill you, and you in turn, if he spots you, you gotta get the heck out of there and run, which led to some pretty cool car chases, fun hacking stuff again, destruction, all that cool stuff. So that was my favorite definitely part of my multiplayer experience. The combat was very stealth-based, Batman, and some of the missions, unfortunately, some of the missions, like if you were spotted, just auto-failed you. You had to redo the whole thing, which was kind of stupid in my opinion. Hated those missions, hated them. There was a slow motion ability that allowed it, so you could use that in combat, so to make it easier for you to get headshots. And it was kind of that with the silence pistol was so OP because they couldn't find you. You just slow motion headshot, just kill them all, and then sneak around and do whatever the mission was you're supposed to do. You could also use it in cars. So if it's like a really sharp turn, you're going like 1,000 miles per hour on your motorcycle, just hit that slow motion button, and it's way easier. Also easier to weave through other cars. When you're going super fast. So that was cool, slow motion, very cool part. Stealth takedowns, Batman. There was loud, you could also go loud, so just take out a freaking assault rifle and just shoot everybody. There's cover-based combat, but there's kind of a generic arsenal of weapons, which I didn't like. But you could craft items, not always weapons, just you could craft items, so like grenades, landmines, radio jammers, and blackouts, one of the most epic things in the game. Which basically blacks out the entire city. Anyways, those were super fun to do, and it kind of allowed you to choose how you're going to approach each situation, how you're going to win. Very cool part. Just role-playing. Alright, skills. You could also, once again, choose your path. You could, every time you do a mission, you'd earn XP. similar to other games, earn points, and you could spend those points on skill points, on not skill points, skills, and those skills could be suit your playstyle. So some of them are better for driving, better armor, better stealth, crafting more items, better hacking. Just go down, do it your way, guys. I always love the do it your way kind of thing. There was a good evil bar as well, which like when you kill citizens or kill cops, it goes down. When you help people, it goes up. When you do less killing, it goes up. And you know, there was no point of that. Absolutely no point. It didn't contribute to the gameplay at all, and I wish it did. But anyways, let's get to the final grade, guys. I would give this game a 7 out of 10. It would almost earn a 9 out of 10, maybe a 9, if there wasn't crashing, because the crashing just completely ruined the experience for me, guys. Crashing, frame rates, drops, other bad stuff like that was really annoying. Huge turnoff. But the gameplay mechanics were pretty cool. Story wasn't that good, but good graphics, like, you know, okay. Not the hyped up graphics, but good. Crafting items was very cool, and freedom of approaching situations the way you want to approach them was awesome. So guys, this has been an Analysis the God video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace out, guys.